it's the biggest political move or a news break of 2023 that we could call it, taking a big step towards one nation, one election proposal. The centre has now set up a committee to study the issue and submit a report. The panel will be headed by former President Ramnath Kovind. BJP chief JP Nadda on Friday had met with Ramnath Kovind soon after the former president was tasked with that responsibility of heading a committee to decide on a suitable formula to implement one nation, one election. The move comes just a day after the centre had announced a special session of the parliament from September 18th to 22nd, wherein crucial legislations are likely to be brought up. While the government is tight-lipped about the likely agenda for this session, India Today has exclusively learned that the government is likely to bring in the One Nation, One Election bill. Meanwhile, the announcement has caught political circles and the opposition by total surprise, triggering a political war of words, because clearly we're looking at 5 state elections in the months ahead. Vehemently opposing that proposal, Team India bloc deemed it as unconstitutional and against the basic principles of democracy.
अभी तो कमेटी रचा है, इतना घबराने का क्या जरूरत है। अभी तो कमेटी रचाया गया है। कमेटी रचाने के बाद इसका कमेटी का रिपोर्ट आएगा। कमेटी का रिपोर्ट पब्लिक डोमेन में चर्चा होगा। अगर पार्लियामेंट में जब आता है, पार्लियामेंट में चर्चा होगा। ये मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी में बहुत बार ऐसे, ये तो एवोल्यूशन है। ये एवोल्यूशन में अभी नया नया जो विषय आता है देश के हित में, उसका तो चर्चा तो करना चाहिए। तो चर्चा करने के लिए कमेटी रचा दिया गया है। तो इसका अर्थ ये नहीं है कि कल से ही हो जाएगा, ऐसे तो हमने थोड़ी कहा है।
वो नेशन तो वन है, क्या किसी के मन में शंका है? इलेक्शन भी एक होता है, जो संविधान ने हमको अधिकार दिया है। लोकसभा, विधानसभा, वन नेशन और वन इलेक्शन ठीक है, लेकिन उससे पहले फेयर इलेक्शन लीजिए। फेयर इलेक्शन हमारा नारा है, नॉट वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन, वी वांट फेयर इलेक्शन, जो आज देश में नहीं हो रहा है। और ये फेयर इलेक्शन जो हम मांग रहे हैं, ये टालने के लिए ये वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन का
वन नेशन वन पोल, हाउ डू यू सी दिस?
Well, firstly, I think calling for an emergency parliament session is just to distract people or get people's attention away from the India alliance, number one. The second important thing is that how come all these distractions come only whenever PM Modi's friends are in trouble? And also, if it is about one nation and one election, has the government consulted with the concerned authorities? Have they spoken to Election Commission at length? Have they seen the pros and cons? If they have, where is it? Shouldn't they put it up for public debate, or shouldn't they call all the political parties, regional and national parties, for a discussion on the pros and cons of it? It requires constitutional amendments. It requires amendments in the People Representations Act, and more importantly, having the simultaneous elections is a humongous task. It's a security nightmare.
One nation, one election, ये इम्पॉसिबल है। अगर ऐसा बिल आता है तो ये अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल होगा। संविधान में फेडरलिज्म बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर का हिस्सा है। बीजेपी के पास राज्यसभा मेजॉरिटी नहीं है, असेंबली इसको पास नहीं करेंगे और कोई भी अपोजिशन रूल सेट इसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा।
इसके अलावा 2 चीजों पे भी जो है बात आ रही है सामने, यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड, और
वो भी नहीं होगा। ये वो अभी नहीं होगा।
इंडिया गठबंधन बनने के बाद भारतीय जनता पार्टी और नरेंद्र मोदी जी बुरी तरीके से बौखलाए हुए हैं, और 3 राज्यों का चुनाव है। वो तीनों राज्यों के चुनाव बुरी तरीके से बीजेपी हारने जा रही है, जिसके कारण ये वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन की बात उन्होंने शुरू की है, चलाई जा रही है ये बात। दूसरा ये है कि ये चुनाव पहले कराना चाहते हैं, और इनके अंदर घबराहट है। साफ तौर पे इंडिया गठबंधन से बौखलाहट, घबराहट का नतीजा है ये जो वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन की बात की जा रही है। और 3 राज्य के जो चुनाव हैं, वो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चुनाव है, वो बीजेपी हारने जा रही है।
All right, cutting across to Amit Bharadwaj, joining us more on that. Amit, this is, of course, a massive announcement, possibly the biggest news of 2023, as we call it. one nation, one election. BJP says this would cut cost tremendously, which is true, and also time, energy, effort. It's better for security, all of that. But the opposition now calls this a diversionary tactics to take away from the fact that all opposition parties are coming together. The Modi government is feeling threatened. Tell us more on what steps has the government really taken to try and draw out a draft plan of one nation, one election.
Nabila, you are absolutely right on the part that, this is going to be this topmost agenda of the country, or the biggest news break of the country right now. That government is, as per sources, pondering upon one nation, one election formula. And in fact, as per sources, a committee has been also formed in this regard. And Ramnath Kovind, the former president, has been appointed as the head of that particular committee. And in fact, the spot where I'm standing, this particular house right behind me, is going to be the most important house as far as India's electoral politics is concerned for the next couple of weeks at least. Right behind me is former President Ramnath Kovind's residence. And, earlier this morning, JP Nadda, BJP president, had reached here. He was carrying a bouquet and he went inside the house. The meeting went on for nearly, let's say, 20 minutes or so, and Mr. JP Nadda left Ramnath Kovind's residence without speaking to the media. Now, there could be, the opposition parties are going to certainly attack the government over this issue. Number one, that as to why one nation, one election is being pushed. What was the need behind it? Number two, the constitutional problems that lies ahead of it. Because remember, there are states like West Bengal, for that matter, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, all these states have gone through elections, and they have a fair amount of legislative time left in their hands. So how do you deal with such states? And there are other constitutional questions left as well, which the opposition parties will be hitting hard upon. For instance, what happens in case there is a requirement of a mid-term election at the state level, because we have seen several times coalition governments fall because of unforeseen reasons, because of disputes within the party, or the party groups breaking apart, factions being created. So what is going to happen in situations of that sort? Are you going to have a president's rule for, let's say, a period of a year, 2 year, 3 year? So all those questions, looms large, and the opposition parties are going to hit hard on those questions. And in fact, if the special session of the parliament takes up this issue, in that particular session, the opposition parties would create, the India bloc would certainly create, a strategy upon this particular thing, on this particular issue, and question the government. It is to be seen as to whether the government goes ahead and introduces bill in the special session of the parliament on one nation, one election, and on the other side, what sort of report is submitted by the committee.